Hey guys, we're at Teesside Autodrome today. We're with the Science of Drifting Academy. Introduce yourself.
Well, hello guys, I'm Yogi. I am the head coach and founder of PHDrift, the Science of Drift Academy. We operate here at Teesside on a professional track, as you guys seen. Proper 2-gate track, so it kind of gives you an idea of a mountain pass feeling. You guys seen going up and down, which is a lot of fun. So we have cars and we offer a ride and drive, and the idea of it is you don't need a car, you don't need anything. Just come and have fun and learn the skills. But the idea is to teach people to enjoy it, go into competition, and also race drivers. So a lot of race drivers actually join me because they realize that drifting is not faster, I know that, but the purpose of learning the skill of drifting allows you to preempt a slide, and in turn, instead of correcting a slide and fixing it, when you use it and go faster. Not saying that you should do that all the time, but if it happens, the skill of preempting is really helpful. I've seen seconds shaved off of a driver. So at Brands Hatch, there was a girl who used to compete. She competed in the MR2, and in the rain, she shaved 3 seconds of a lap. Like that's wow. A big. Yeah. So that's one of the aspects, but the best aspect is obviously the drifting. So you guys see the Drift Pro, it's incredible. Now they go at 110 miles an hour. What did we do today? 40. And look at that smile, right? Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. So we've been here all day. We've got Jim, we've got Spencer. We've all been out in the cars. It's been incredible.
How did you find it? How did you find the drifting first?
Amazing. I mean, like, it looks so easy when you see yourself do it. Actually, like, doing it yourself is really difficult, and there is a science behind it, you know, and you've explained it really well. Like, we all understand it now so much better than we ever thought. And sort of, if you take your brain out and hand over the control to you, then you're going to go far.
Exactly.
But it's scary, sort of being on the outside of the track
and then pulling the handbrake at 40 miles an hour
over here.
It's a bit tough, but the idea, you saw it. The more you're confident you got, the easier it became. Yeah. And that's where drifting becomes much easier, when everything happens without thinking. The brain is our worst enemy. It's going to tell us to not do it, to not pull the handbrake, not go on power. If we fight it, we're just going to be better and better. But you've seen it, so yeah.
So how did you start the drift school? What was the history behind it?
Well, I started coaching about 8 years ago now. It was more of a passion, so I was helping my friends. And then I moved to the UK, and I had Toby, Monkey London. Do you know Toby, Monkey London? Yeah. He's really famous. Yeah. He's a good friend of mine, and he basically gave me an experience. So he bought an experience for a company in Birmingham, and I went there, and literally within 3 donuts, while talking to the instructor, because I've been experienced by then, he's like, do you want to work here? So I've never had that as a job, and I started to work, and 8 years later, I just don't see anything else I want to do. The passion of teaching you guys. To understand, what you've done today took me 3 years to learn by myself, because back then there was no one to teach. But the fact that you've achieved that in, 2 or 3 hours? Yeah. It's incredible, man. You linked every corner confidently, and transitions, and you control the car at speed. This is exactly what I want, because again, the other aspect is most people don't realize, what if you go on black ice? You know what to do now. Yeah. Nothing. But the idea is, everyone that crashes on black ice is because they resist. Resistance of the car shouldn't happen. And that's where I teach. The best thing I can describe is, I'm not a drift teacher, I'm a physics teacher, and I build confidence. I show you guys how to do it right so that it doesn't go wrong, and we build confidence more and more. Yeah. So you teach everybody. You teach a massive a range of people, like Joe Blogs, like me. You got you kids, 10-year-old kids,
and you've got like pro drifters.
Yeah.
So it's a total range, isn't it?
It is. So as I explained to you a while ago, I studied it, and the purpose of studying it is I didn't study just one aspect. I studied all the aspects so that I could cover and build the best coaching plan to build confidence. I've started to teach kids a long time ago, and I realized that they're amazing because they're a sponge and they learn really quick. What I've noticed is, the further people have driven, the harder it is to go through habits. So race drivers, to teach them to let go of steering wheel is like, whoa, mind-blowing moment. It takes longer, but when they do it once, I've seen it many times, when they go back on racing and it's suddenly wet, you see them slide around and use it. It's like, oh, well, that's what we want. Yeah. And then I have 85-year-old
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had an 85-year-old student, and he was actually really good, and that's the key. In some ways, it maybe felt like back to 12.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
it's full circle.
Yeah, like the voice wasn't fully there.
Yeah.
There was a bit more fear, but the voice wasn't there to tell him no. So it's almost like we just go, yeah, it's a bit weird one.
So talk to me a bit about the cars that you've got here.
So we use BMW 46s for the main reason that they are absolutely spot on perfect. For years I was more of a Japanese driver. I like Japanese cars because the way they work and handle. BMWs are much more rotational, so they have a lot more weight on the front, okay? So as standard cars, they're very different. But with years of learning the setup and how to set up a car, I've finalized how to set them up the same as a Japanese car. And the purpose is now they feel amazing. And they are neutral, they don't have any lock kits, no power, no grip. It's all about you. And you need to learn to do it, because if you don't do it, it doesn't happen. So yeah, we got two BMW 46, and that's where you start with. And then when you get to the third stage, which is resistance and learning how to control a car in a more advanced way, we jump into the 86, which you guys helped a lot, so thank you. But the idea is to have a tougher car to again bring another challenge. If it's easy, there's no point. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If it's easy, somebody gets the whole track in one day, I shouldn't come and say, okay, well that's it, because
you completed it. Yeah.
There's always more to learn. I'm 16 years on and I'm still learning every day from new guys. Yeah. And that's the key. So that's the three cars. Hopefully we're gonna expand, and my goal is to replace those with the 86. That's my goal. Yeah. Because I want a modern chassis. Jim loved it.
Yeah.
Jay loved it. It's really amazing because it's really tough and it's rewarding. The only issue I have right now is putting a new person in it is really tough. So I'm working that out with Jim, and then we'll get to that point, and hopefully by next year maybe we'll have two of them and run them. But, so yeah, that's the three cars. Usually it's just me anyway, so I don't really need three cars, but it helps.
So what about competing?
Ooh, the question everyone asks.
Competing?
Yeah, well, I used to compete. I used to compete in Drift Cup, which was the lower series. It's not the BDSC. For a few years, and I had just a low-powered car, just a BMW compact. And it was fun, but I just found myself just not in the right place. And financially, it just wasn't worth it when you're not winning. So I took a step out, and then I went into BDC, competed in a year in a 2JZE46, which was mind-blowing. I got a hard charger here at Teesside, so I really enjoyed it. And then again, I just took a step back because I don't have a car. The main reason why is everything's in here. I'm not going to be James Dean, right? That's it, I'm done. I may be a good driver, but it's never going to be that. But I do aim to be the best at this. Yeah. So my investment and everything, my life is all about dedication to get you guys drifting, because I get more reward from watching you drive than me drive. And I know it sounds silly, but yeah. That's how it is. So I am planning though. So there you go, you hear it first. So Jay, who taught you guys, he's going into competition next year, and this year he decided to get a new car, a competition car. So it's a BMW E36. It's got an SR20 in it. Nice. Very different. Most people don't like that engine. I absolutely love it. The lack of torque is, in my eyes, a good thing, where people actually like the V8 and the torque. Style, different strokes. So he's been kindly offered to say, let's do Teesside in it. So round 3 of BDC, I shall be possibly competing. So you'll hear it. Maybe you guys will come around. We'll be here. Oh, yes! Okay. And then, yeah, who knows? Maybe Drift Pro at some point. I don't know. That would be really sick, because Drift Pro has a very different aspect. The whole tracks is incredible. Like Cadwell for me was the dream. Because the whole track at Cadwell was a two-gay. It was a mountain pass, and it was like a water slide, and it looked so much fun.
The undulations are mental.
Mental. Now in a race car, you just go through it straight, right? So you don't actually feel it. But when you saw the drifters go, they went up and up and up, and it's like a water slide. And I was looking, it's like, I really want to do this. So maybe one day, but for now,
see you there soon then.
Yeah.
Essentially. Where can people find your socials?
So my focus is Instagram and Facebook. There's not a lot of YouTube going around because it is a big platform, and I try to stay out of it for now. But we may build a channel that will give informative drifting out there, because the idea is I'd like to give the information I know for free for people who try them at home on simulators. But on Instagram and Facebook, it's Science of Drifting. That's the hashtag. And yeah, I operate here every week. So I've got 2 days a week, every week. Right now, I am booked up until August, which is great because it gives me a bit of future planning. But that means everyone who wants to book, they just have to wait. But in a way, it's a great thing. So, yeah.
Okay. And do you have a website as well? People?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, obviously, website. That's the one. That's PHDrift.co.uk. But the main aspect I'd like you guys to see on Instagram, because Instagram hosts all the onboards, including these guys. So you're gonna see him drive. So you can see what you actually achieve in a day. But overall, how much fun is that?
It's amazing. Like, yeah. I mean, we can't thank you enough.
I can't thank you guys enough. So it's mutual. I'm really happy. That's what working partners are, really.
Yeah. I mean, we've had the best day. So thanks to Yogi again. If you're thinking about getting into drifting, or it's your birthday, whatever, like
your missus' birthday, yeah, trust me,
you just have the best day ever. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I'd be drifting 3 corners, let alone trying to transition and everything like that. Like, we've had the best day, so thank you so much. Final question, Yogi.
Go on.
What's your favourite takeaway?
Ooh, now I have a thing for pizzas, right?
What sort of pizza?
Oh, wow, you're asking questions.
I mean, there's different sorts of pizza here, isn't there? You got like
a real pizza. When I say a real, thin, crispy, tons of cheese, and not necessarily any addition. Sometimes margaritas are simple and best, but 100% the dough is the important part of pizza.
Hi. What about pineapple?
Oh! Sorry, I shouldn't make that noise. Okay. Pineapple is not food. Okay? Or sorry, it's a fruit. We don't put fruits on pizza. But then again, you guys like curries with mango in it, so I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, so I'll say that. Not on anything. If you guys like it, that's cool.
Let's wrap that up.
Let's wrap that up. Pizzas for the win!